My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This breakdown is brought to you by Premium Membership. Premium Membership brings you all sorts of betting and fantasy tools to help you make money. Things like exclusive 2, 3, and 4 leg parlays, betting calculators, parlay calculators, daily fantasy ownership projections, fighter salary rankings, and so much more. Check it out now at WeWantPicks.com. Scroll to the top and click Become a Member. And don't forget, we are giving away $50. All you need to do is go to WeWantPicks.com/bets, sign up with any one of our betting partners, make a deposit, and we send you $50 as a thank you. That's WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit, we send you $50. Next up, at UFC San Diego, we have the main event of the evening. We have Marlon Chito Vera taking on Dominick Cruz. Marlon Vera is 21-7 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off the destruction of Rob Font. Dominick Cruz is 24-3 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, riding a 2-fight win streak after the title loss to Henry Cejudo. And Chito Vera is a Muay Thai striker who likes to fight ugly. He does put that down. He does a great job using all of his tools, like his elbows, his knees, his hands, and his feet, to have a pretty versatile attack style to round out his dangerous striking. He can also bring submissions to the table as well. He's got an iron jaw, a ton of stoppage power, and finishes. He does have a negative striking differential, and he can be hittable, but he does a good job of mixing in takedowns if he gets into any real trouble. He took down both Davy Grant and Song Yadong twice, and he is coming off that win over Rob Font, where it was clear that Chito was not the more technical fighter, but absolutely the more dangerous one. He was outstruck by more than 100 strikes, but still left Font bloodied and beaten. I mean, he was outstruck by more than 100. That is such a ridiculous number. Like, such a ridiculous number. Anyway, Dominick Cruz is the former king of this division. He has wins over all-time greats, current champions. He's the real deal. He basically invented the heavy movement style. He's works side to side. He cuts angles. He's constantly moving his lower body and his upper body, and it just frustrates his opponents, and it opens them up for him to get takedowns. And that's his entire game. Frustrate people with the movement, get them guessing, keep them behind you, and take shots. He averages almost 3 takedowns per fight and has a 71% striking defense. And that's some of the highest striking defense you will ever see. He's very hard to hit because his head is constantly moving, and it's not even always in the same direction as his feet. And this really is a hard fight to pick. Chito is absolutely, without a doubt, the more dangerous fighter in this matchup. We saw in his last fight that even if he lands half the strikes, he can do 10 times the damage. The difference here, though, is that if Dominick he's just almost impossible to hit. In his 17-fight UFC career, only one single time has somebody landed more than 74 strikes. And that was TJ Dillashaw in a fight that Dominick won. I have no doubt that Dominick is the better overall fighter, but I do have doubt that being better is enough. I think Chito can win with power, takedown defense, and I think Dominick can win with striking and then his wrestling. I can only see Dominick winning if he mixes in the takedowns to make the rounds clear for him. And if we go to the Frankie Edgar versus Chito Vera fight, Frankie was, yes, horrifically knocked out, but he outstruck Chito. And he got 3 takedowns in 3 rounds. He was beating Chito Vera. And I think Dominick can pull off that exact same win, just without the foot to the face. And, you know, I'm going to go with Dominick Cruz here. I think Dominick gets it done. You people are going to call me a Chito hater because of all the stuff I said after the Rob Font fight. But to be clear, I never said Rob Font won that fight. All I said was that it is clear Rob Font was the better striker. Statistically, watching it, he was the much better striker. Chito just has crazy power. But Dominick doesn't get hit. He's hit less than any other fighter in the history of UFC with his, amount of minutes in the cage. And I think that matters here. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, this is going to come down to how boring this fight is, because I think if Cruz wants to win, it's got to be a boring Cruz fight. Just dance around, throw that jab, move, throw that weird jab, move. And the wrestling of Cruz, if he's able to get those takedowns, I mean, he should be able to win this fight. But with that being said, you said that people claim that you're a Cheeto hater and this and that. I can't stand Cheeto. I hate Cheeto. I don't like him. I don't like him as a fighter. I just cannot stand the guy. And I going into that Rob Font fight, I said Rob Font will absolutely destroy this dude. Will absolutely destroy this dude. Cheeto should not be the best thing that ever happened to Cheeto was that the thing that happened with Sugar Sean. If Sugar Sean was able to finish that fight, not get his leg blown out, he was going to absolutely destroy Cheeto. And Cheeto, you would never hear of Cheeto again. But I also said, if Cheeto proves me wrong in that Rob Font fight, I will never doubt Cheeto again. I will easily eat my words on everything I said about Cheeto. I immediately apologized. I said I was absolutely wrong about Cheeto. I am a man and will step up to the plate when I am wrong. I was absolutely wrong about Cheeto. He won that fight against Rob Font. He didn't look great doing it, but he did what he needed to do, has big power in his hand. And after that fight, I said if he wins, I will never, ever pick against Cheeto again. I cannot go back on my word. I am picking Cheeto because until he proves me wrong again, I said I would never pick against him. Not picking against him. I agree that Cruz is definitely the more well-rounded fighter, has more ways to win, but I'm a man of my word. Cheeto gets it done. Let's go Cheeto, baby.
Yeah, listen, this was a tough pick for me. And you know, it's funny. So I every week, the way I do my notes, and I do everything a week ahead of time. That's how I do quick picks on Sundays. I've already broken down the next card. I got my notes. I got everything ready to go. It's in a spreadsheet. I got fighter A, fighter B, the notes, their last five, all that crap. And I had a check mark next to Cheeto's name before I dug in. I was like, yeah, this one, Cheeto, done. And then I went to go type up my notes and dig in and pull up all the stats. And that's when I flipped. Because I was like, man, freaking Frankie Edgar was beating Cheeto Vera. Frankie Edgar, who is not as good, doesn't have the same movement as Dominick Cruz. He tries to, but it doesn't have the same movement. He doesn't have the same, he does have very good wrestling, but he doesn't have the same chin. And I know Dominic's older and Pedro touched him a little bit, but, I just think that fight really opened my eyes that, Frankie Edgar was way ahead of Cheeto Vera that entire fight till he wasn't. The Rob Font fight, Rob Font lit up Cheeto Vera, lit him up, start to finish. Couldn't handle any of the damage coming his way and had zero power in his hands, but he lit him up. So I think Dominick Cruz could be a combination of those two guys and beat Cheeto here. But, it's a super close fight.
No, I agree. I literally agree with your breakdown. I think that Cruz should, in my mind, the way I see this fight going, it's going to be Cheeto pressuring Cruz, but just kind of following him around. So if you remember the Chris Curtis, Jack Hermanson fight, I don't know if, I can't remember if you were able to watch that one, but Chris Curtis was basically just kind of following Jack Hermanson around the whole time. Couldn't really put hands on him, right? He wanted that big power shot, but couldn't really lay hands on him because Jack was in and out, touch, move, side to side. And Chris Curtis was literally just chasing him around the entire time. This could look the exact same where Cheeto just plodding forward, Muay Thai style, that back and forth Cruz movement where he's just chase him and is never really able to land that big shot. So, I agree with your breakdown. If people are picking Cruz, I 100% agree with it. He is the much better fighter in this matchup. I just can't pick against Cheeto because I made a promise. I'll never pick against him. So I'm on Cheeto, but I think this could be a very boring decision win for Dominick Cruz, 100%.
Yeah, and frankly, the biggest thing that worries me is not necessarily the power, right? Dominick Cruz has fought power before. It's the age. He's 37. And that is the thing that's starting to worry me. The first thing that goes is the chin, then the speed. So, that's the one thing that worries me. But anyway, you and I are split here, but we both, listen, I think plus 190.
Enough. Yeah, I picked Cheeto, but I'm observant enough to know how good Cruz is, for sure.
Yeah, I think we both get it. Listen, I think they're both good value in DraftKings as well, because if Cheeto wins, Cheeto's not going to win a decision, I don't think. He won a decision against Rob Font, but I don't think he's going to win that same decision against Dominick Cruz.
Yeah, it'd be tough to do.
Yeah, because he'll either finish Dominic or just not be able to touch him enough. But $8,500 for that potential finish, that's a great price point. $7,700 for Dominick Cruz, I think that's a solid price point. It's in the 7,000s. And if he is, he averages almost 3 takedowns per fight, per 15 minutes, not even per fight. It's per 15 minutes, and this is a 25-minute fight. So if he gets 4 or 5 takedowns, all of a sudden he's worth that as well. So I think pick your side, you're worth it.
Yeah, I think Dominick Cruz is going to be one of the more heavily owned people in DraftKings, and for good reason. You mentioned the takedowns. You mentioned, and people have mentioned in the chat he's never lost a non-title fight. And to be honest, he's got 7 losses. The guy isn't some world beater, So he's probably going to be pretty high owned in DraftKings, I imagine, for good reason.
Yep, probably. The Monkey Knife Fight strike line, 105 to 89. It's funny, man, because I know Cheeto's got solid volume, but you have to factor in Dominick's defense. I mentioned before he has a 71% striking defense. That is some of the highest in the history of the UFC. So yes, Cheeto does have high volume. He lands at a high rate, but people don't hit Dominick Cruz. They just don't. So I do not see, I think it's an easy less on Cheeto Vera. Easy less on Cheeto Vera. Especially because he's, he couldn't really hit Rob Font. So I don't think he's going to hit Dominick Cruz. He may get it done, but I don't think he's going to hit him 105 times. And Dominick Cruz at 89, I think that's possible because Cheeto Vera does get hit. So I think this is a more in Monkey Knife Fight. You agree?
I think it's a less.
You think they're both under? Well, if you guys are confident on either side of that, go to WeWantPicks.com/MKF. They will instantly match your deposit. So sign up, take their free money, put that free money on some of these lines. If you want $50, WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our betting partners, make a deposit, and I'll send you $50. And don't forget to become a premium member. I continue to mention that a premium membership is only $2.50 a week, and it gives you access to all of our early bets. Basically, our bets as we're placing them, whether it's that day, weeks before the fight, months before the fight in some cases. But there's also exclusive DFS content. I put up the prize picks the day they drop. And prize picks, just like bets, those lines move. The takedowns line move. All those lines move. So I put those up on Tuesdays the minute they drop. And then Fridays, I put the video on this channel. By the time Friday comes, some of those lines have already moved and you missed out. So the moral of the story here is it's dirt cheap. You get access to everything early. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. We appreciate you. Thank you guys all so much for the watch. Jakey boy, you have anything to say?
No, I'm going to follow my Twitter because I'm going to clip out my song and dance to Amanda. I'll tweet it, and you guys need to like it, comment it, and really get this relationship going. And I can't wait.
Good luck. I'm rooting for you. But if that works out, you're not leaving. You still got to do all this shit. Like you have a job.
Yeah, and if she gets a title shot against like Shevchenko, I'll pick against her. I'll be honest with you. I'll pick. Sorry, Amanda.
Thank you all very much for the super chats, the support, the likes, the subscriptions, the memberships, all of that. You guys honestly are amazing, even when I'm cursing you out for disagreeing with me. We'll see you on Friday for all of our final stuff.